What up, though? It's the word. You see the title. Let's talk about it. But before I get into it, excuse me, um, do me a favor, hit that like button. And if you're new, hit the subscribe. It's free to you, but it means a lot to me. So my wife brought this story to my attention earlier, and um, we had a deep conversation about it. And I was just thinking about what this young girl is going to have to endure, you know, being abducted, being sexually abused, and now being pregnant. So we had a deep conversation about this earlier. But then I started thinking yesterday, I don't know if anyone got a chance to catch the live, but the sis Leticia was in the comments, and I was talking about forgiveness. And she said, all things can't be forgiven, especially, when it comes to family. Sometimes we need retribution. And I thought that'd be an interesting piggyback conversation on what, retribution looks like to people. Um, so they kind of go hand in hand, the stories. Because as a father, I don't know if sending someone to jail after what they did to my daughter would satisfy me. Honestly, I don't think it'd. I don't think it'd be satisfying. Just having someone go to jail. Um, I'm not in that position, and I thank the Creator, and I pray and take steps for never be in that position. But uh, everyone's vulnerable to it. This is something that's been happening since the beginning of time. Kidnapping and sexual abuse, and just people hurting people. So, like I said, we're all vulnerable to it at some point. So, I want to play this clip from the news, and then I want to show an article too, because anybody who read books know when they make the movie, all the information ain't in the movie that's in the book. So, after watching the news clip and then going back and reading a couple articles, I found some additional interesting information that wasn't included in this news clip. So after the news clip, I'm going to share the article. But
14-year-old girl is home tonight after she went missing over a year and a half ago.
She's reunited with her father after the U.S. Marshal's Office became involved in the case, taking less than 24 hours to track her down. Jacqueline Francis is live tonight with more. Jacqueline.
Yeah, so we know the U.S. Marshal's Office is good at tracking people down, and while we usually think of them going after fugitives, they also have a whole task force dedicated to finding missing and endangered kids. So what we know about this case, the then 13-year-old St. Clair County girl was reported missing in September of 2021. At the time, she was listed as being critically endangered, thought to be sexually abused. It wasn't until this week, so nearly a year and a half later, that Michigan State Police was referred the case. They got the U.S. Marshal's Office involved, and within hours, she was found. Take a listen.
Information was that she may be being trafficked. There was some evidence of sexual abuse, belief that she was pregnant and in danger. So she had been missing since September of 2021. So I got the case, began working on it immediately, and we recovered her about 5:30 that same day.
When asked why it took so long for the case to get to his desk, Deputy U.S. Marshal Robert Watson said,
"A lot of times people don't know that the resources exist. So, we kind of want to get, the word out there."
And I thought that was interesting too. This girl been missing for a year, and the U.S. Marshals get the case, and they found her in 12 hours. And I didn't even know the Marshals had an abduction task force where they find missing kids. But if you in law enforcement, you should have knew that. It shouldn't have took this long to find this girl, but they found her.
We are an option. We're very good at, locating fugitives, but we also have another mission of locating missing.
Kalani, appreciate you,
The
bro.
girl
What
was
up?
taken to the hospital where she was determined to be several months pregnant. After being examined, she was reunited with her father. The U.S. Marshal's Office is relieved they could be of help,
B.
saying this is the most rewarding part of their job.
In my opinion, just this guy talking, sometimes I break down in tears when I find these kids because it means a lot. I'm a parent myself, and I can't imagine if I was in one of these folks' shoes and I didn't know where my kids were. So it strikes a chord with me. It's near and dear to my heart, and it is the greatest feeling in the world when you can save a child.
The deputy U.S. Marshal I spoke with said it's never a bad idea to ask police to get their agency involved when it comes to searching for a missing child. He said even if they can't fully take over the case, there are still other ways in which they can assist. Reporting live tonight, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
Jacqueline, do we know anything about the people the 14-year-old girl was with prior to being reunited with her family?
So the girl was found at a home in Port Huron. Investigators say that the homeowners were not cooperative. They actually lied to them and said that she was not there. They got a warrant and later found out she was. That part of the investigation is still ongoing and it could lead to charges.
Yeah, a lot of questions remain. Okay.
And that's the
Jacqueline, thank
interesting
you.
part because hold on, switch over to the interesting part is I'm gonna switch over to this article I'm gonna show y'all because there's some information they left out. But I didn't know the U.S. Marshals had a task force that found missing kids, but law enforcement should have known. Like, how are these agencies not working together? Like, this kid had been missing for a whole year, and once you got the state troopers involved, state troopers took it right to the U.S. Marshals. So the state troopers knew, but how are all y'all law enforcement and don't know the resources that you have, especially when it comes to kids? That's crazy. But check this part out too, because like in the report you heard them say that she was returned to her biological father. So like I said, a lot of times I look at let me make sure it's sharing on. Okay, yeah. Hewitt, what up? Yeah, crazy world, man. Crazy world. But the mother, so they returned the child back to the father, the biological father. But when I was looking at the articles, I ran across this. It said Watson did know, however, authorities are pursuing parental kidnapping charges against the girl's biological mother, who previously lost custody of her daughter. He said authorities believe her mother found her daughter after she ran away. So evidently the little girl ran away. The mother found her and then start bouncing the girl from house to house with the child, ultimately falling into the wrong crowd. Like, so her mom was just taking her from place to place, and somebody, so I don't know if it's drugs involved, mental health. I don't know, what else is involved, but the mother ended up putting her in a compromising position where the little girl got kidnapped. And like I said, the little girl pregnant too. But this is another interesting, I don't know if it was this article, but it was another article also stating that the little girl was worried that she might lose her baby. Now, this little girl is 14 years old. And that's the sad part because she's a baby herself. And because I don't know the story if she ran away from her father or her mother, but because of neglect, I'm going to say from the mother, because that's what the story said, that now she has to grow up. Not only does she have to endure the trauma from being kidnapped and sexually abused, but now she's going to be a parent. She's 7 months pregnant. Stories like this are too common. It's people that I personally know. I didn't even know they went through these traumatic things when they were younger, and later on in life they opened up and shared their story, and I began to understand why they had some of the traits or habits that they had is because they went through trauma like this. And that's why I say we don't know each other's story. That's why I try to be respectful and kind, because even joking around playing, you can say the wrong thing and it can trigger something. And if your intentions is good with people, I don't see why we'd be going out trying to hurt people intentionally. But this story I wanted to cover because it's so many different angles, with the effects that the trauma is going to have on this young lady growing up. Not only of what she's experienced being kidnapped and sexually abused, but also her being pregnant now. She's 7 months pregnant, so abortion is not an option. So now she has to grow up and raise a child before, she was ready. She has to raise a child that was created by her abusers. And if she was being sex trafficked, it might not even be with people who kidnapped her. It could have, they could have been selling the girl. So she might not even know who the father of the child is. So there's all these different things happening that she has to deal with. And you can't help but, if you have a heart, to feel bad. Is a blessing and a grace of the Creator that she was found alive. But what kind of condition is she left in? And that's not to say that she can overcome this and use this as strength and not only do something great in life, but raise the kid with love, and the kid can grow up and be something special and contribute to society. That can't happen. There's stories out here like that. But that's 50-50, right? And I don't believe things like get spoke of enough, because, like I said, I didn't even know the U.S. Marshals had a task force. So any parents who unfortunately have to go through missing children, you have another resource available to you. That's something that, if you're watching this video, that now, if you didn't know, now you're aware of, because within 12 hours of them getting the case on their desk, they found the little girl within 12 hours. So they either got tactics or they know stuff that, regular police and evidently the state troopers don't know. But like I said, I think, like me personally, I don't know what I don't know what I would do. And like I said, Leticia yesterday made a great point, and I'm correlating it with this story because, she was returned to her biological father. I can only imagine what's in his head. I know he's excited, after your daughter's missing for a whole year, you got her back home safely. She's alive. But now you got a 14-year-old who's been sexually abused and now is pregnant. As a father, I couldn't imagine what's going through his head. And someone going to jail for this, I don't think that'd be good enough for me. I don't think that'd be good enough. So, like, what is retribution to you on any level? Not just using this extreme, but what are you willing? Like, I don't think there's depending on the situation, I don't know what I'm willing to sacrifice to get revenge or retribution on someone. I don't know. Like I said, depending on the situation. Like, as a father, that has to be a tough pill to swallow. But I would have to focus on getting my daughter help. That girl's gonna need a lot of psychological help. I'm pretty sure she go have nightmares, severe PTSD. She might not ever be comfortable with a man or a woman touching her. She might not ever trust people again. It was her mother who, from the reports of the news, her mother compromised her and put her in a situation for her to get kidnapped and abused in the first place. Like, even as the father, like, does the father want revenge on the mother too? Because if the girl ran away and you found her and didn't call me, like, you put her in this situation. So, like, what is retribution? How does that look? I mean, some things will be easy to walk away from. Some things will be easy to let go. But with something like this, someone harming someone you love, how does that look? Are you willing to sacrifice your freedom and possibly your life to get revenge or retribution? Honestly, in some instances, I probably would. If you took something from me that I love, there'd probably be no depths of hell I wouldn't be willing to travel. Something like this happened to my baby girl. I mean, you think of the long run, you want to be there for her, but you couldn't put me around none of these people because I couldn't tell you what I wouldn't do. What up, Perp? What's the word? I got the word of the day. I think I shared it out. My favorite Australian. How are you tonight? I almost want to play this news clipping back for you. It was a 14-year-old girl who was missing for a year, and in Michigan. So the county gave the case over to the state troopers. The state troopers gave it over to the U.S. Marshals, and within 12 hours, they found the missing girl. The problem was when they found her, she was pregnant. So it's a blessing they found her alive, but now she's pregnant. And, I don't know if you caught the live last night, but we were talking about like forgiveness. And Leticia made a good point. And she said some things you can't forgive, some things you need retribution. And when me and my wife was talking about this, I thought about that. Like, what does retribution look like when something like this occurs? So I'm just asking people their opinion on what is retribution. I'm just interested on how people look at it. Oh, you missed yesterday. It's okay. I forgive you, Perp. You can miss one live I do, just one. And that was the one, so no more. I'm just playing with you. Yeah, but, it's a blessing they found her alive. My heart go out, though, because, I couldn't imagine. She was concerned about, not losing the baby, too. She didn't want to lose the baby, but my heart goes out to her and her family because, like I said, it's a blessing they found her alive, but to deal with, her being pregnant now and just the mental trauma that she has to go through. That's unimaginable. And I couldn't imagine. And like I said, and sometimes in a news clipping, they leave out information. And when I was looking up the story, I seen this information about the mom. So evidently the mom found her. Like, I guess she ran away and the mom found her. And instead of calling the dad, the mom started taking her from house to house, and then someone kidnapped her. So I couldn't even imagine they're pursuing charges against the mom, but I couldn't imagine not only the dad being upset that, this happened to her, but knowing that the mother had the opportunity to bring her back home and didn't. And not only did she run away, but now she got kidnapped and impregnated. So I couldn't imagine on how the dad feels towards the mother. Like couldn't fix that. You had the opportunity to bring our child to safety and you didn't, you know. So I couldn't imagine on how the dad feels, about the mom. It's just all fucked up. The whole situation is messed up. And like I said, this is not an uncommon story because I was actually interested to see if what race the girl was because of the areas. I'm familiar, it was in Michigan, so I'm familiar with the areas. But the area has, mixed cultures. I just thought it was interesting that they didn't have a picture of her, like I couldn't find a missing picture. But when I was looking at it, looking for the picture, I seen probably about 15, 16 other stories similar to it. Just looking for the picture. So that's even crazy. Yeah, stabby ain't the word. I'd be stabbing somebody. Yeah, I don't. And you know what? I tried to. I'm currently still getting to a point where I'm learning the depths of forgiveness. Everything that occurred in my past, I was able. What up, streets? Everything that happened to me in my past, I was able to forgive because I seen what was in front of me. My family. That made it easy. I think I used that as a tool. I knew I had to let go of the past to enjoy the future. I just felt like it wouldn't be fair to my wife or my kids, my future kids, because I didn't have them at that time. But I didn't. If I brought in the pain from my past, so I had to find a way to forgive, and I did. And I'm at peace now with everything that occurred in my past. But moving forward, like I said, seeing stuff like this, I don't know if I can forgive that. I couldn't forgive it, you know. But then you don't know until you experience something what you're capable of. But just thinking about it, nah, I can't forgive nothing like that. I can't forgive someone hurt. Like if someone hurt me, that's easy to forgive. But if someone hurt someone I love, that's the hard part. Yeah, that's the hard part. Is me forgiving people for someone hurting someone I love. But if they hurt me, I think I can bear that cross. I think I can bear it. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not gonna be naive to things. You never really truly know what you're capable of until you experience it. I can sit here and try to act like the most positive person on the planet until something happened, and then especially if I never experienced before, and then when it happened, I have a total different reaction or response to it. So and I'm just interested on how I know myself very well, and I'd be catching charges. Yeah, I would too. Like I said, if I was the dad, see, this is how my brain worked. As soon as she got home, I'd be making plans, so she'd be all right. She'd be taken care of because I know as soon as I make all those plans, I'm going on I'll be like that, like Rambo in that last movie. Yeah, I'll be going after everybody, in jail or not. You hurt my baby like that. Like, I can't imagine what that little girl went through. 13. This is not, I mean, as an adult, if the girl was 21 or 18, it'd be hell. But this is a child. Like, what kind of sick person are you to do that to a child and then you impregnated? Like, do you not have a conscience? Like, you're hurting something as bad enough as a woman, defenseless, but this is a child, 13-year-old girl. Like people like that can't be fixed. But yet they get lighter jail times than somebody smoking weed. They get lighter jail times than someone doing drugs, period. They get on a list. Like you can't fix that. That can't be fixed. A person who touches little kids, abuse little kids, that can't be fixed. Ain't no amount of time go fix that. Ain't no amount of therapy go fix that. Don't get fixed. We don't need that in a society. So if you can be proven, yeah. Is that hey Scotland? Is it bad in the UK like that? Like they kidnap people and got a lot of sexual abuse in the UK too? See that's why I say I think it's a human thing. Humans are just fucked up. People are just fucked up. That's the only way to say it. Apologize to any viewers who listening, but people are just fucked up. People are. And the crazy thing is I tell you this, when I was working in the hospital, it was this guy who did martial arts. So, automatically you click with people who do things you do. Not only did he do martial arts, he taught martial arts to kids. So I went to the dojo. I went to his dojo where he was teaching a couple times, and he had a softball, a little league baseball team. I played baseball. I was a pitcher. So I'm like, it's the kids. I get to, teach them martial arts and, teach them baseball. So this was like my new best friend, It's like this guy is doing two things I love, and he's teaching it to kids. So I'm like, cool. I like this guy. He was an older gentleman too. So it was like, you kind of look up to people like that. Like he's doing something that I want to do. I want to help kids, and I can help them with the things I enjoy doing. So I looked up to him, and I started getting these bad vibes from him. Like I didn't see anything wrong with what he was doing. It was just I just got a bad vibe from him, and I had got a concussion from sparring. I had got a concussion from sparring, so I missed like 3 weeks in the dojo, almost a month. And I was coming into work one day, and working in the hospital, you always see cops. But the OR that I worked at was on the second floor, and he worked in PICU on the fourth floor. And when I got in the elevator, and listen, and I promise you, nothing is by coincidence. When I got on the elevator, for some reason, I didn't push the button. I was fumbling with something, and about time I looked up, the door opened. I was on the fourth floor. As the door opened, the cops were bringing him out in handcuffs. And I'm looking like, what's going on? And they couldn't tell me. So I went to the unit and asked them, and they said that he's been arrested for child child pornography. And I'm like, what? And like, nah, it can't be. So, the whole day, I went through the work day, and the next day it was on the news. The kids that he was training in martial arts, he was messing with some of the boys and taking pictures, doing all this crazy shit. And I'm looking like, you don't know people, because, like I said, watching him, he was wonderful with the kids. He was a nurse at the hospital, worked in PICU. He taught, little league baseball. It was like he was a good guy, had a family and everything. I think he had 2 sons himself. And they was little kids. They was like maybe 12, 13. But he was and I had a feeling, but I didn't know. And I'm just telling you that because you never know. That's like with me, I don't like babysitters. I don't let my kid go to daycare. Nah, I'm straight. Because, I see too many stories where kids are getting neglected in daycare. We just had 2 kids die period within the last year at daycare. One of them, because they gave the kid too much Tylenol or something like that. I gotta ask my wife. And the other one, the lady slapped the kid. The kid fell and was unconscious. So I mean, I couldn't imagine you doing something like that. Okay, hold on. Let me see what you say, Scotland. Where's my? We have a lot of what they come from a variety of different backgrounds. Yeah, see, that's crazy. How like you can't. It was just I'm gonna find this story because I think it was Nashawn said you should cut their phallus off. When they convicted of sexual abuse. And it was the story where this guy didn't even have one, and he was going around molesting women, but he was using like a strap on to do it. Like I forgot what happened, but he was castrated, and this was back in like the '60s. Um, so I think a lot of times it's more about the dominance over people than the actual sexual act. When it comes to abuse, a lot of times I think is not. I'm not saying it's not about the sexual act. I'm just saying I think in a lot of people is more about having dominance over a person, and I think that's why a lot of people mess with children because they know they couldn't dominate an adult, and them having that power over kids. I think that's what drives them or fuels them. Yeah, I dropped the link again. Like you said, you in bed listening. I don't blame you, bro. But yeah, that's a problem. I mean, even Scott in the chat, he said it's a problem over there. Not only sexual abuse, but them not getting time. They barely get time. I don't understand that. That's like in some cases that can be worse than murder. That could be worse because when you murder someone, their suffering ends. But when you abuse someone, they got to live with that trauma their whole life. There's no guarantee people can get over it. That's not a guarantee. That's not something that's automatic. So people have to live with this trauma their whole entire life. And how's that fair? And I couldn't imagine, someone being assaulted and then and I mean, I grew up around older people, so I watched a lot of Lifetime movies. But I seen stories on there where people end up running into the person who assaulted them, even after they get out of jail. Like they saying, I couldn't imagine that as an adult. If something like that happened to you as a kid, and then as an adult you see this person, I can't imagine the triggering effect that they may have. You know, and unfortunately, that's a mental health issue that can't be fixed. I mean, I think that's, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. I think that's disrespectful for even associating that with mental health. Mental health is something that people rarely can't help sometimes. Some people are born with mental health issues. Some people are, accidents happen and you have a mental health or traumatic events that happen, like what this young lady went through, you know. But that's a choice. I don't care how people try to explain it. When you assault someone, that's a choice. You're making a choice. That's a whole fucked up decision. So I don't see how like that should even be associated. No, No, I don't see a purpose for them. I don't see how people like that can contribute to society, honestly. Um, so you don't really want my worldly view on people like that, and not just them people. Anybody who I feel like this: anybody who doesn't contribute to society only takes from it, right? What's the other option? If you're not contributing, if you're not adding, you're taking. That's the only other option. So people who don't contribute, I don't see the purpose. I just don't. And you can contribute in many different ways. I believe even um, a person fully disabled can contribute, you know, by smiling, being positive. That's energy. That's a frequency to go out. But people who take away, who harm other people, who destroy things, I don't think is a purpose for them here. They're taking abuse. Yeah, it's not like I said. I don't. I think that's worse than murder. I'm sorry. Only. I mean, even and this is gonna be well. I'm not gonna use that example, but I say it like this: when you murder someone, when you kill someone, suffering is over. You know, suffering is over. Even if you made a person suffer, it's over when they're gone. But to do this is something that people got to live with. So that pain is never gonna. I mean, like I said, it can possibly never go away. Look, I know people now who have opened up later on in their life and told me stories about them being abused. And now that they told me, you start replaying different experiences with them, and you begin to understand why they are the way they are, and you can't help. Like I feel bad with some people because I didn't understand why they were the way they were until they told me why, and now I understand. And that's why I try not to judge people because you don't know what trauma a person been through. So yeah, because I don't see why waste taxpaying dollars and why create another opportunity for them to do it again. So I don't think they should be here. I think they're more crueler on people addicted to drugs than people who sell drugs. They should get. They don't even get that type of treatment. Some people don't even go to jail. They get put on a registry. Like, what is that supposed to do? That don't stop people from doing crimes because you put them on a list, and then you put them in a neighborhood. I think no, that there's no point of creating nothing. They shouldn't be allowed to exist in this world. I think that's fair retribution. I think that's fair because you just eliminated a problem. The problem is eliminated. You don't have to worry about that person doing it again, and I think it will deter other people. A lot of times these punishments they put on people, it don't scare or prevent people from following in the people's footsteps. It don't. And the sad part, fair use YouTube, but like the sad part is there's a lot of influential people and people with money that do shit like this all the time. And it's normal in those circles. Like when that all the information came out about Jeffrey Epstein, think about that. Now this dude had an island where people came over and did this to kids. Like think about that. If you got the money, you can do shit like that. So I mean, you can only imagine what goes on. Um, you can only imagine. Um, And then even with that whole thing, it's like he was the fall guy. Where's all the other people who he was bringing to the island doing? Where are all these people at? Why aren't these people being punished? It was supposed to be a list of names that never came out. Why didn't that list come out? Why are them people not being punished if they did this to kids? And see, that's what and just knowing, because like I said, a lot of people get prices, a lot of people get prices. A lot of people get a price where they'd be willing to do a lot of different things. So understanding people can be bought and sold. This is why I truly believe the power need to be back with the people to decide. We need to stop leaving it because those people who are in charge, who we vote for, they're bought. They call them lobbyists, right? That's who buy them. It don't. So who are they working for? The lobbyists or us? Because the lobbyists is the ones who fund them. So whose interest do they have? Ours or the people who paying them? So at some point we got to understand that, and for things to change, we need to take power back and stop giving it away. I mean, we keep giving it away. We give away our freedoms. Yeah. And that's what we need. Because did to Britain's most outrageous prison justice got him. So, yeah. And see, but even that, though, if the person got money, they'll probably go to a nice little comfy area away from general population. That's what happened to a lot of these people with money. I ain't saying the average person. The average person, they get into prison, they go get handled. But a person with money, they don't experience prison or jail the way an average person without money do. They get put in what do they call it? Protective custody, and motherfuckers be having TVs and rugs in this. Like, no. Yeah, they ain't very fond of people who hurt kids and women in prison. That's just from stories. But like I said, even like those 5 cops, right? They get convicted. They're not going to general population. They go in protective custody. So they never have to, they ain't go be around. So, and they go do their couple years. I mean, I think they talking about what, 10 years, 5 to 10 years they might do. And they out for taking a man's life. Like, come on now, man. And like, I'm interested to see what kind of punishment these guys get. Because from the article, I think it was like 4 or 5 people in the house. Yeah, they and I don't think they should have. I don't understand that. Like, when you go to jail, all your rights are supposed to be taken, unless there's always a but, and people get protective custody. Like, no, jail is jail. Most dependable pedo. He created a movie, Daisy's Destruction. Oh man. And see that's but this is seeing stuff like this is I can't even find a word. Seeing stuff like this it just reminds me how messed up the world is. I mean, you see so much stuff every day, but this is like low of low. You kidnap a little girl, You impregnate the little girl. Then you find out like the mom was so irresponsible, bouncing her from house to house, that her mom put her in a situation for her to be kidnapped. And then you think like, this girl has to grow up and and like I said, it's stories out here where people have been sexually abused and got pregnant and grew up with the child, loving the child. Child grew up to be productive, but then it's the other side of that story too. So, and we don't know. It's just messed up that she even has to go through that. You think, and that's what I say. Like, even on this app and in real life, like I've known people who, experience something like this. Not as far as being pregnant, but sexually abused, and I never knew it. And then later on, when they tell you, you begin to understand why they have certain ways or why they do certain things. And then you realize like you don't really know no one's story or what a person had to endure or what a person had to overcome. And that's why I personally don't judge people. I rather figure out their story. And once I do that, I can understand if I can interact with them or if I don't. And if I can't, I let them have peace. And I move on. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, this is not something that's uncommon. This is something that I don't even know. If we look at a study, I'm pretty sure it happens every day. At an alarming rate. It's I know it's a lot of sexual abuse is done by a family member. It's not just a stranger snatching someone up. Sometimes it's the people who we trust that hurt our kids. And that I know back in the day, they used to try to sweep it under the rug when it happened. When that uncle, I'm not gonna say everybody had that uncle in the family, but when it happened in families back in the day, it was swept under the rug. Tried to act like it never happened. But nowadays, you got to worry about even doctors. We had a dentist here who sedated patients, and one lady woke up with the doctor, doing things to her. So you go get, I couldn't even imagine that. You're going to get your dental work done. You got to be sedated, and you wake up, and the doctor's, doing things like people are sick. We hear stories about, the man of cloth, the ones who are supposed to be bringing us closer to the Creator, to God, you know, messing around with little boys. Like who are we safe from? It was a cop. What was that? A couple years ago, who was pulling women over, and for them to be let go, he R-worded a couple of them. He abused his authority and took advantage of women. Like, who are we safe from? And those are the stories that's being told. Imagine the stories that's not being told. Because, like I said, back in the day, this stuff was swept under the rug like it never happened. And the stories that we hear now, they're stomach turning. Like I said, you have cops, you have dentists, priests, and these are the stories that are being told. So imagine the ones that's not being told. I know it's bad in the military. Women are going into the military, they get taken advantage of. I'm going to use that term, but you know what we're talking about. I don't want to say the R word, but even in the military, women are being taken advantage of. So like, where are you safe from? Who are you safe from? And how do you protect against this? Like, how do people are embarrassed? People are afraid to speak up when stuff like this happens. So how do you protect people from this? How do you prevent it? Because without the story being told, we don't know how it happened. So how do you prevent it? So I mean, at least we can bring awareness to it, right? At least we can bring awareness. But we gotta have these conversations, and it's unfortunate. Um, but if we don't, we'll never find solutions. People never had the strength to speak up when it do happen. I think the more people speak up and the more power we take back in our hands. I mean, at some point, we gotta realize that the people who protect us aren't protecting us. So we gotta protect ourselves. But we gotta come together to do that. We gotta trust one another. We gotta be willing to build with one another. We gotta stop competing with one another. Because we see what separation causes. We give up our power when we separate. We give up our power when we don't have unity. And when we do that, we all become vulnerable. The only people who actually get us is us. It's like I said, the people who we hire kill us, abuse us. The people who we vote for, they take advantage of us. Once they voted in, they forget all about us. Politicians are crazy, man. Yeah, heartbreaking, bro. I don't and like I said, I'm my baby girl only a couple months. But that's, as a parent, this is one of the scenarios that play in your head, especially when you see it. You understand that this is something that can occur to anyone. The only thing I can do is bring awareness to, when she grew up, to her, to my wife. And like even now, like I don't let people baby. The only people who can babysit my kids, especially overnight, is my mom and dad. I love my sisters, and I don't think nothing happened. It's just them the only two people right now I'm comfortable with my kids staying with, for the fact that my mom and my dad have been watching my son for me since he been born. And then my sisters, they both got families and they got 3 kids apiece. So it's like my son is like, he needs, if you not watch him for a minute, he's somewhere it's taking something apart. He play well with other kids, but he a lone wolf too. So as soon as ain't nobody paying him attention, he doing something he ain't supposed to be doing. He know he ain't supposed to be doing. So that's one of the main reasons why. But no, I ain't doing that friend stuff. And we had a boys' home not too far from me called Boys Town. The poor man that suffered under state care, they started speaking up in their late years, but their life has been exactly. A lot of those like in America, you hear a lot of people talking about mental health and we need more mental hospitals, but they don't truly know what was occurring at those mental hospitals. They was testing on them patients. It's crazy because I learned more about mental institutions after I, married my wife and we started doing paranormal investigations where we go to like haunted places and you know. But I started learning more about these mental institutions then than I did when well, they wasn't really around when I was younger, and I never really studied them. But learning from, going doing paranormal investigations, you learn the pain that these people went through. A lot of the mental institutions, hospitals, they wasn't helping people; they were experimenting on people. And I hear people a lot of times say, "Oh, we need more mental health hospitals." Like, is the reason they closed them down. They was experimenting on them people. They wasn't trying to help them, and they was abusing the shit out of them. Like a lot of nursing homes. Like when I was in high school, we went. I was in a program where we went to um, a nursing home and we painted their community room. It was one of the rooms we painted in there, but it was me and a couple other guys in there. We belonged to a. It was like it wasn't a boys' it was like a recreational center, and they asked if we can come up there. One of the guys who was in my group who went to the recreational center, his grandmother was in there. So they asked, can we come back up there and read them books? So we like, yeah. And one day when we went to go up there to read the book, we was going to his grandmother's room, and we seen this patient care tech. She was abusing a guy, like dragging him on the floor. And when we told, nothing happened. So when we got back to the rec center, we had told the program director. 2 weeks later, that whole nursing home was shut down. They did an investigation. They was in there abusing the crap out of the people, the old people. Like, you're paying people to help these people, and they hurting them. Society is fucked up, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, as people, we don't even care about each other. Yeah, and perp, that's 100%. You know what? I think about that. I think about that on different levels too. Not just because I got a friend, and I knew she was getting abused in her relationship, like physically abused. But every time I asked her, she said no. And it's like, how can I help you if you telling me it's not happening? And then the guy ended up getting in a car accident, and she had called me like a day or two after the funeral crying. And I'm thinking she crying because he died and she missed him. She said if he didn't die, that she would have died. Like, he would eventually have killed her. And I said, why didn't you tell me? And she said, because I was afraid he was going to go kill me. And I don't understand that, because if you felt like eventually he would have killed you, why not? I don't understand that. And I'm not, saying nothing against no one who's in that situation. But this is what I'm saying. I've never experienced it, so I don't understand why people are afraid, even if you feel like the person is gonna kill you. Like, me personally, I would rather die fighting or running than I would just sitting there and taking it. So I don't understand that. But anybody in that situation, I'll tell you this: seek help and fight for your life. If you don't fight for your life, no one else will. Here she go.
Hey, hey,
How are you? Oh,
I'm good. Are you right?
Yeah, I thought I was trying to get that share screen off, and I thought I ended the thing, but no, I did it right. I did something right.
Okay. Um, I just kind of wanted to touch a little bit on domestic abuse.
Hmm.
Um, I grew up in it. I think like my first memory is of my mother being assaulted very, very badly, like um, because my stepfather was a warden at one of Australia's hardest jails, maximum um, prisons. Um, yeah, he used to just beat the shit out of her with steel cap boots and things like that. Um, um, for me, there was always that helplessness, not being able to rescue my mum. But I always asked, like, later on down the track, after he'd left and he'd sort of ruined a good woman, I kind of asked her, well, I asked her why she didn't leave, why she put up with it. And he was the type of absolute just a shitbag that threatened to have me um, molested by some of his prisoners. And she stayed putting up with that because he was the type that could actually make that happen.
So she stayed to protect you.
Yeah.
And see, that's why I say a mother's love. I hate that your mom had to be put in that position. I really do. Um,
Hmm.
and people like that, if hell is real, I hope Satan is having fun with them. You know, um, people like that, like I said, they can't be fixed, and people like that don't deserve to breathe air. Who will use a fear tactic to control a woman? Um, and
Mm.
that fear tactic is the safety or well-being of her child. You know, and we see that a lot. People use a lot of different fear tactics to control people, but that's the lowest of the low. And then how insignificant of a man are you to have to physically dominate a woman, and not only do that, use her child as a way to keep her under control.
Yeah. I don't understand how you could want somebody that much that you would coerce them into staying like that. Like that's a whole other level of, fuckery.
And I'm sorry that really kind of upset me, and I wish like people like that. No, I'm saying because it's no one should have to go through that, and no one should have to go through that, and I can't even imagine what your mom went through. But I say she's special because everything she did was to protect you.
I
You
know.
know, um,
And then
so
there's
that
days
that's
where I go, what the fuck? Why did you do that? Um, yeah, but here I am, and I'm yeah, it was a sacrifice. Um, and I'm trying to earn, the that privilege. you know, that she kind of sacrificed herself and a lot of her life to keep me here unmolested. Not that that worked, but that wasn't her fault.
Right.
She tried.
And as a parent, honestly, that's all you can do. Um, is do your best to protect your children. That's all you can do. And unfortunately, sometimes like even like I was physically abused by my stepfather, and my mother didn't
Mm,
know. And like I said, I don't want to because that is my sister's father, so I don't want to say nothing, out of respect for them. But it was something similar done or said to me, and that's why I never told my mother, that he was. I used to tell her I got beat up, when I had bruises or marks on me, and I didn't. It was him. Um, so I mean that's why when you said that it kind of upset me because I was told something similar. Um, if I told, um, and you said that to a child, these fear tactics people use on people helpless. Weak
mm,
people like that prey on helpless people weaker than them. And unfortunately, when you're an adult, the only thing weaker than you as a weak adult is a child. And that becomes the prey, that becomes the target, um, is the children.
mm. And what, like, there's just no, there is, and I try, because you know me, honey, I'm a lot like you, and I try to understand this thing that we call the human condition and why people do the shit that they do. And I've tried to really understand
And,
why you would, why anyone has that, um, that inclination anyway in the first place. And what is it about a child? I look at children and I think they're beautiful and they're innocent and they're magic and they
yes.
should, and potential. You know, it's like planting a flower and watching it grow.
And
And
that
but
I,
not but then these fuckers want to see it
they
blossom
want.
and pluck the thing out of the ground.
Now, can I tell you my understanding from a religious standpoint of why it's people like that in the world? In the book of Genesis, I believe it's um, 14:6, when when the serpent and Eve was in the garden and God was questioning why did you have them bite the apple? But God stated that the seed of the serpent, meaning the children of the serpent, will be a
Mm,
constant battle with the children of Eve or the seed of Eve. And when I read that, and I think it goes over a lot of people's head that um, the
definitely going over
serpent,
mine.
the serpent has seeds, meaning it's
Yeah.
people walking around without souls because the soul comes from God. That will be the children
Mm,
of the seed of Eve. So understanding why people do all this evil fuck shit is that's because they the seed of the devil. They the children of the devil. And that's why they attack the children of God. That's the only explanation that I found when I was trying to understand why people do evil things, was that Bible verse. That's the only thing that made sense to me. That there are people amongst us that look like us, might even be in our family, that are the seed of the serpent, are children of the devil. That's the only thing that makes sense. They have no soul because the soul comes from God. So we wonder how can people do these horrific things if they have a soul? That's because they don't. That's why when people do these things, they have no conscience about it.
I kind of think that perhaps it's even a little bit. Oh, hello, little one.
Yeah. Feeding
Daughter
time.
words.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think that perhaps it's even a little bit more simpler than that. That, it's like some sort of chemical imbalance. However, it's gotten to the point where I don't know what the exact agenda is, but we have these people allowed to, go out into society. They should be just, cut off at the fucking knees the first time they do it. The
I
first
think
time
that
you do it, one strike, you're fucking out. Sorry.
yeah,
Um,
they don't deserve to breathe air.
but what will happen is that they'll for their first offense, they'll go to, they'll go before the court and they'll get a slap on the wrist.
Go through a
Just don't
program.
do it again. Oh no, we don't even have programs here, I don't think.
Oh
It's like,
wow.
oh yeah, just a little slap on the wrist. You might pay, some sort of restitution. I'm sorry, there's not enough restitution in the fucking world once you've touched a child inappropriately. There's just not.
No, it's
Um,
not.
and then they'll be allowed back out into society again. And that only strengthens their resolve,
Because they get away with it.
or, yeah. And, like, for instance, our piece of shit, Peter Scully, how he's still living is beyond me after all the disgusting shit that he's done. He did stuff here and then he hightailed it over to Thailand. Or was it Malaysia? I'm not sure, but I think it was Thailand. One of those, kind of, you can easily go under the radar. Same with Gary Glitter, that fuck. He went to Cambodia, for his source of young, easily manipulated children and parents, because they're all broke, they're all suffering, and I don't understand it. I couldn't be so poor that I would give my child up to a disgusting man to do what he wanted.
Yeah. Did you Nashawn had a video about the Dominican Republic that was similar to what you are
Yes.
talking about. He said, like, when you go over there, people will approach you and show you a list. And he said they literally selling women for like $20, and they underage women. Like, that's why I said this world is sick. And you see what Scott said. There are people out here advocating for lowering the age of consent and arguing this is just another sexual preference. Like, these are things we got to get in front of, because they're
Yes.
creating laws and stretching boundaries to hurt our
Yes.
kids, to take advantage of our kids. A kid, I mean, your brain ain't even fully developed until you're 25. So
Oh,
how is someone?
I think it's even later these days. It's something like in the realms of your 30s.
And I can believe that, because what they say is your
Mhm.
brain doesn't fully develop until you're 25, and by the age of 28, you have full cognizance. So I can believe that. Um, but how you gonna say a child can even comprehend the consequences of having sex?
Oh my
Because that can
God.
be. Think about this. People are addicted to sex, so we ain't even
Mm.
talking about um, the potential of being addicted to it. Um, Especially
Oh,
at a
okay.
young age, and then the vulnerable position you would put yourself in if you did um, have that addiction. You can mess up the rest of your life. Just sleeping around, getting with the wrong people for the wrong reasons. I mean, we do that as adults. So imagine as a kid. Um,
Right. Uh, but what exactly? I can't, I can't wrap my peanut brain around what good, or what's the agenda? Why touch our children? Why do they want to lower the age of consent?
this is
Except to be
oh,
disgusting fuckers.
and that what up, Rich? Appreciate you coming through. But that this is fair use YouTube. Let me give you my
Absolute
disclaimer.
rich.
This is just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That just shows me the people in charge are fucked up in the head too. Like the
Mm.
people who even considering the people who write the bill. Like I said, the people. You hear stories about these people with money doing weird shit. These are the people in charge, and you see what they're trying to get past. So these are the people who are indulgent in these things, and they're finding ways to get away with it by creating laws that allow them to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So how can you write a law and tell me what's best for my child? How can you tell me anything if you're not in my home raising my kids? What's best for my child?
Yeah.
Telling them when they can learn about sex, how old they can consent. That's my job. That's why I say
That's where I say, fuck your laws.
right.
Seriously. Mm-mm. And again, that's where I would catch charges. I don't care. I'll do whatever it takes to keep my kids safe.
Exactly. I mean, and then this is the scary thing too. I think about this, like me being a dad now. Something happening, and I have to protect my children, and I do take a charge, and now I'm locked up. Now
Hmm.
they unsafe again.
That's true.
So that's the dilemma.
Mm.
Of like understanding what battles to fight. Because my job is to protect them until they can protect themselves. So when an
Mm.
incident occur, I have to gauge how to go about it because, like I said, I can active instinctively, but then they can take me away from them, and then now what protection do they have? This is the thing about being a parent. It's hard,
Yeah.
especially with the way society is. You can protect them from one incident, and I told a story where I had a friend where she had sex with a guy. Right,
Mm.
I think we was in middle school. Yeah, I was in the seventh grade. She had a sex with a boy and got caught and lied and said that the boy raped, our word.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then the brother and the father went over, snatched the boy out the house and beat him.
Uh-huh. Oh,
And 2 weeks later, she was going to school and actually got snatched up in our word.
right.
And this is the crazy part. Her dad used to take her to school every day, but he wasn't there to take her to school no more because he was locked up because she lied and said
Mm.
that when she consented, so he was locked up, so he wasn't there to protect her when she actually needed it. So like these situations happen, you know. Um,
Uh-huh.
If he never went over that boy house and snatched him out, he would have been taking her to school, and that wouldn't have happened to her.
Mm. Yeah, that one's a tricky one.
See, that's what I'm saying. There's
Obviously, she shouldn't have lied about that.
no, she
I have
shouldn't have
to,
lied.
I just have to kind of ask you one question.
Uh-huh.
Is there a specific reason? Is it a channel reason why you're saying the R word instead of what it actually is?
I was told to say that because I guess you can get clapped just like you can get clapped for saying the C word. Um, yeah, it's crazy. I'm just, people who've been doing this longer than me, I take heed to what they say. So I
Mm-hmm.
just, yeah, so I was told that don't ever use the R word in the title and try not to say it.
Uh-huh.
So um,
Well,
that's what.
given, I don't know, I feel kind of strongly about um, kind of taking the power away from that word. And for me, because it's happened to me, I feel like I should have the right to say, I've been raped. And
Right.
I'm not going to go around and tell people I've been R-worded. I
No, you
just,
can, like I said, you can say it. I mean, if they, like I said, if like it hasn't happened to me, so even if they said something or tried to take a video down, I said she's only telling me her truth.
yeah.
That they can't argue. Just me as a content creator, and like I said, it hasn't happened to me, so um,
Hmm.
I'm gonna just stay away from it. But no disrespect to you.
Oh, no, no, no.
I'm
I
not.
just
I
wanted
never
to,
try to
I
downplay another
know,
person's experience.
I know. I just wanted to ask if there was a specific reason or if you were trying not to trigger people or,
Oh,
um,
and I try not to do that neither. But that's not the reason why I was just because of what I was told.
hmm.
So that's the
Yeah,
reason why. But no, I never try to disrespect nobody nor downplay their experience because I
hmm.
know just what I've been through in life. Um,
Yeah.
I don't accept that. My experiences is mine. I'm gonna tell it like you know how
Yeah.
it came to me. So. Um,
And I'm going to try and be as unfiltered as possible. But because I have re- respect for you and your channel, I'm I'm not going to say the C word.
once I get this channel to a nice, I'm gonna make a backup channel and we just gonna let it rip. And
Oh,
I
and
want to see. I
then I
want to
can
be.
be like the C sister. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see how far I can push. How far I can push it before they. But I'm gonna do that on the backup channel. Um,
Yeah.
I'm
Good
interested.
idea.
I'm really interested to see how far I can push the limits to before they totally. So I'm gonna be unfiltered on that channel. I'm
Well,
gonna just say what the hell I want.
it seems like
Scott laughing at me. I'm telling you, bro. I be wanting to say so much stuff, man. But
yeah.
like I said, I'm not trying to disrespect nobody, but there's so much stuff I do want to say. Um, but like I said, I'm trying to grow this channel, and I'm trying to do something positive with this
Hmm.
channel. I'm trying to bring people together, and we have these conversations because I
I
just
love what you
truly,
do.
yeah, I appreciate that. I just know in life what helped me was understanding life, was listening and viewing life from different angles. And those angles come with different people's perception. And I think if
Absolutely.
we share and talk and have these conversations, and I think this is what brings us close because these are things that affect everybody. You can
Right.
look at any race, religion, any group of people, and
Mhm.
issues like this happen. So no matter if you're white or black, you are not invulnerable to the R word, and we need to talk about that because it has to be solutions. It has to be tools that prevent things, and I think one is demanding more harsher punishments from the people who are in charge. You know, not letting them create a damn bill that's going to make our kids more vulnerable.
But that's the kicker. And what I've noticed
Like, what the
is
hell do a grown
these.
man want with a kid anyway? Like, why is that even a discussion?
Oh my goodness.
Why is that even a consent age? I mean, what is it, 18, 17? Don't say 16, because I don't believe an adult can touch a 16-year-old.
Well,
So,
apparently that is here. That's the age of consent.
16?
16. Yeah.
So in Australia, an adult,
Yes.
someone, to say a 30-year-old, can
Yes.
have sex with that's sick. That's sick.
Hey. Yeah.
They can't even drink a
Absolutely.
beer.
Yeah.
How can you consent? That's crazy. That's
But
crazy.
what I've noticed is that these decrepit old men, and that's what we're looking at. We're looking at like some really old men that have
Yeah.
these notions of young
16.
virgins in their heads. And they're
But
the
that
ones that are passing these bills, but they do it under the cloak of night while we're all sleeping. These fuckers are passing bills
or
that we
or
can't possibly object to.
and sometimes we ain't even sleep. We paying attention to what the Kardashians doing, or what
Yeah,
the score of the football game is, or damn Chinese balloon over. I mean, that's the stuff we pay attention to.
yeah.
Um, Instead of paying attention to what they passing. That's what I'm saying. Like, we need to put people in position that reflect our needs and wants.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way to do
Yes.
that is to groom our children, is to develop our children to become these people. That's the only way to occur,
Mm-hmm.
because anybody else can be compromised. And we see that.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I don't understand. See, Europe, like France and whatnot, they're very liberal in their sexuality. Um, and many argue for sexual experiences at a very young age. Um, I remember like and fucking Hollywood and Disney and all of that are priming young kids for these sorts of things. Because I remember watching movies as a kid and seeing the most inappropriate relationships spawned between, a young, prepubescent and an older gentleman, sort of, probably Scottish's age. Um, no, that was just a dig at Scottish, um, being an old git. Germany was 14. Oh, wow. How is
14.
14?
Where I was still playing with
Okay.
Wrestling Man at 14, like playing with action figures and shit. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, let kids be kids, man. Let them enjoy being a kid. I didn't have, like, growing the way I grew up. I had to grow up quick, so I didn't really
Mm-hmm.
have like the the childhood I'm trying to give my son. Um, I had to grow up fast, but um, 14,
Yeah.
I think I was collecting. I was playing cards for like Pokemon cards. I was they ain't know how to play a card game, so I was taking advantage of all the kids who had the cool Pokemon cards, beating them in card. I was always a hustler. I hustled my whole life. I'm telling you, I hustled my whole life. You give me a deck of cards, I'm gonna take whatever you got. Um,
All right, well, we'll see.
I'm telling you, I'm
Oh, you're a shark, are you?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Put me on the pool table. I lose a couple games just to get you confident, and then, and then
See,
up the ante. Yeah, I
I get,
grew up.
I start off really shit, and then I get drunk, and then that's when I get like my drunk sort of Forrest Whitaker eye in, and I start, just sinking balls left, right, and center. I don't know, it's drunk magic.
But yeah, that's crazy. 14 in Germany. It like I don't see how. And these people really don't have power. All the power they got, we give to them by electing them and keeping them in office. And until
Well,
we understand that, shit like this gonna keep happening. But they don't need to the consent age for a child to consent to sex, especially when you're talking about an adult.
uh-huh.
That shouldn't even be an option for anyone to make a law or a rule. Why is that an option? These are our kids. That shouldn't even be up for debate.
And what does it take for everybody to kind of stand up and say we're not going to do this anymore? We're
Something
not.
happening to them. That's the only way. Because people don't care until it happened to them. People do not care about things until they're affected by it. And I
Yeah.
mean, that's like even I mean, if we talk about police brutality, don't
Mm.
nobody care about that until it's them or their family member. When you talk about sexual abuse, don't nobody care until it's their family member. When it becomes their family member, then they looking around talking about who got my back. That's why I
Yeah.
said we need to like you know what Nashawn said it best. Until we come on one heart, one accord, until your pain is my pain, it's gonna be like
Yes.
that. He
Yes.
said that the
Uh,
best. And
Nashawn,
shout
respect,
out to
brother.
the sophisticated problem child. Like I said, I know there's a lot of people on
Yeah.
this app that don't like him, but if you listen to the man, you can't help but to love what he
Oh, I
say
know. I know.
because I
I,
mean
I
I
fuck with
mean
him.
yeah, that's why I say I rocks with him. Because like I said, no one is everyone is unique. Everyone got their own way or their own style. But if
Mm.
you listen to him, everything I ain't gonna say everything because like I said, he be going in sometimes. But when he talking about real life stuff, you can't
Mm.
help but to listen because what he's saying is factual. You know, and like I said, until your pain is my pain, it'll never change.
Yes. I see.
I
That's
mean,
a
he
really,
said that so.
that's a really profound um, thought.
Yeah,
It's going to make me think for quite some time.
because
Mm.
you know what else? Now think about this. I was thinking about this earlier. I was talking to my wife, and my wife is Arabic. She's Middle Eastern. She's a Syrian, and she was talking about the earthquakes that happened in Turkey,
Yeah.
and it was this family who had died, but the lady had just had a baby when they got
Mm.
covered in rubble, and the baby survived, and the baby was still the
I
umbilical
saw
cord.
that baby.
Yeah, the umbilical cord was still hooked up to the mother.
Mm.
And when she was telling me about it, I said, that's sad, but it's people right here suffering too. Um,
Yeah.
and I told her, I said, if you think about it, no country, not even NATO, has ever came to
Mm.
the rescue of African Americans in America. No country has helped us. No, nobody has helped us. You know,
Well,
so
they
that's
would
the
ask,
pain I
what are
feel
they?
every day.
They would ask, what are we helping you for? What's going on? Even though
The
w- blind
the
Freddie can see what's going
and
on.
see and see that's what I'm saying. Like, And that's why I go back to Nashawn's point. Until my pain is your pain, nobody
Mm,
care. No
yeah,
one cares what's happening. Um, because a lot of times, like when you watch on TV, you see black people killing black people.
yes.
They advertise that, and
Hmm.
because they want people to think this is normal, and it's not. That's not normal. You
And
know what's more normal? Do you know
they'll
what's more
use that
normal? You said what?
they'll
That's
use
propaganda.
certain words in their newsreels, like savages.
Yep.
Um, hmm
And you know
because
what's more prevalent in
they're
America?
emotive. They
Yeah,
spark something in our brains.
because they want to take your attention off what they're doing to the people. But you know what's more prevalent in America than gang violence, mass shootings,
What's that?
school shootings,
Ah, yes,
white collar crime,
the
people
old school
taking the
shootings.
elderly's pensions and leaving the elderly. That's more prevalent here. They don't talk about that stuff.
El- Elder abuse.
Yeah, they don't talk about that stuff. What they want to show you is they want to give you the image of black people
Hmm.
as savages. So when they do something to black people, you don't feel bad. You don't think it's a problem. That's what they do. Because think about the music, I mean the images that they portray as black people, even in movies. They always show black on black crime on in the media. They
Yeah.
always show black people in the light that they're beneath, that they
Hmm.
savages. So when they do something like a George Floyd murder or like um, Trey,
Mm.
people don't feel bad. The first thing they think is what did they do to deserve it, or what did they do to make them do that, instead of saying that's wrong. Why is it okay for you to take money from the inner cities and give it to the suburbs when the inner cities need it to develop?
Yeah.
Why is that okay? Why is it okay? Like Chase Bank, what was that, 5 years ago? They were cited for taxing African Americans higher than any other group.
Is that so?
Why? Yeah, like why is that okay? Why?
Well, it's
Why,
not.
why is there no repercussions behind that?
I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, the only reason I knew it because I got a letter and I got a check. I didn't
Oh,
even know. I had a car loan at the time through it. They gave me almost $1,000 back,
slimy thoughts.
and then that made me think: how much money did y'all uh, really take
Yeah.
from me?
Uh-huh. Wow.
But these
Slimy.
are issues, and like I said, Nashawn said it best: until your pain is my pain, it'll
Mm.
never end. Until your problems become my problems, we all gonna have problems, and that's
That's
part of
right.
the division, though. That's how they
And
keep us divided.
that's where we have to and it was interesting because a lot more people woke up uh, through the C-19 business and the lockdowns.
Yeah,
They they turned inward and started doing, you know, meditation and things to develop themselves. And it, it, it kind of woke them up to this that we are all connected, we're all energy.
yeah,
And, if there's something like that happens again, more people are going to start waking up. And eventually, like, I'd like to have hope
yeah.
that we're all going to wake up and go, you know what? We are connected. And when you bleed, I bleed. And when you cry, I cry. When you're happy, I'm happy, you know?
And you know what? I want to make 2 points real quick. The first one, I think that whole C-19 was a social experiment. And if I could, I would break it down. But I just want you to think about that. That whole thing was a social experiment. And then I forgot my second point. I'm a little buzzing right now, but I got this oil pan. I forgot how many times I hit it. I'm just sitting there hitting it like, oh shit. Like, oh, forgot this is concentrated for a minute. But I have a card. I'm legal. Who was that? Nate the Great. Oh,
Hey, hey, Nate.
I think I want to do. I'm gonna ask Nate Sean to do a show with me on that concept. Because I think
Which
that's
concept? Which one?
your pain until your pain
Oh,
becomes
yeah.
my pain. I think we'll do a good build.
Hey,
Ryder, my
love the
brother.
rider.
I got two of my favorite people in here.
Look,
I got
all my
Streets in
peeps
here. I
are.
got Ryder and I got Nate. What up,
I've got
fam?
all my peeps in the house. I love my brothers.
And I got Perp on the. I'm blessed, man. I told y'all. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Y'all making me want to play this back.
Mwah.
Let me catch you up to speed real quick, Ryder. 14-year-old girl, and you too, Nate. There you go.
Would you like me to jump down so you can share the page? No. There's
Um,
Nate. Hello, Nate.
let me catch y'all up real quick. What we talking about? So it was this 14-year-old girl that went missing a year ago, and they just found her. They found her pregnant though, and the news is stating that her mother had found her when she ran away and was taking her from house to house, and then she got kidnapped. And we was just talking about the effects that the incident go have on her, and also what the retribution looked like. Because if that was my kid, I couldn't. Me and Perp both said we'd be catching cases. I already know what Nate choose violence on this topic. I already know.
I'm tired of choosing violence. I'm choosing the food coma. No, but that right there, you're tired of hearing shit like that too. That shit that I'm trying to keep myself where I need to keep myself.
Yeah. And then I didn't even know in Germany they could sentence the age to consent. I don't know. He said he didn't know if they changed it, but the age to consent is 14. And
Yeah.
Perp said over in her country is 16. Like, what the hell do a 16-year-old need to be with an adult for? They still a kid. Let them be kids, man.
Bro, it's the same thing with New York City and a few other spots. The legal consent is fucking 17. So how the
Are you
fuck you expect it? Serious? A fucking 17-year-old right now could be with a fucking a nigga older than me, and it's all good. Because
Well,
they
that was the age. That was the age that I lost my virginity, and yeah, luckily it was with a kid my age. But the next time round, it was a dirty fucking old bastard in his 50s.
Uncle L in the building. Good morning, fam. Appreciate you coming through.
Hey,
That's
Uncle L.
that's crazy, Perp. And yeah. So now this little girl, not only she got to deal with the trauma of being kidnapped and sexually abused, but now she pregnant at 14.
Yeah.
And then the news is one of the articles I was reading that she was concerned, because they found her under some clothes in the closet, but the condition she was in, she was concerned that she was gonna lose the baby.
Oh my goodness.
So
she
you
was
already
pregnant
know.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's a
7 months.
double.
7 months
That's
pregnant.
that's a double
That's
sort of trauma.
So she
good.
been missing for a year, and when they found her, she's 7 months pregnant. So there's no
Oh,
telling the type of abuse she been through, and now she got to grow up with that, bro. Like these people like that can't be fixed, bro. They can't be fixed. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Take them out.
Who said they could ever be fixed in the first place once they go that route?
Well,
The
we're being told.
society.
Fuck
Yeah.
We're being
society.
told
Listen.
that.
Fuck what society says. And this is my view and
I
opinion on fuck
know.
what society says, because there's no way you could tell me anybody that does anything on that type of caliber could be fucking refixed. It's different when you said, all right, I murdered somebody, I gotta fucking take my consequences, I learned my lesson. But when you fucking taking the innocence of a child, fuck out of here, nigga. You can't fucking be retrained. Fuck out of here. You already done chose what you chose. I don't care if you got mental issues.
Mhm.
Once you make a decision, nigga, that's a decision you chose, nigga. You didn't fucking, oh, the devil
Yes.
told me to do it. Suck my dick with that one. Excuse my language. Suck my dick with that one. Oh, the devil told me to do it. Okay, your mother told you to do shit too. Did you listen to her? Nope. The fuck up. Like,
Oh, so look what Scottish wrote. Fucking hell. I don't think that you can get married here until you're 18.
And see that's crazy.
That's
That's what I'm
fucking
they
saying.
just went to,
wild.
listen, they just fucking went up on the thing. Since weed is legal now, them niggas don't went up on the age now. So now these youngins that thought they could just buy fucking cigarettes at 18, nope, you gotta be 25 and older. You want to buy liquor, you gotta be 25 and older.
They went up on the liquor too.
Yeah, they went up on
But
the age for people to buy liquor, but shit, that's a good thing to a degree anyway, because some of these youngins
yeah,
not even fucking 21 and they grabbing up liquor and shit. So it's like, nigga, come on, bro.
but
Even though it's supposed to be 21, but
that
still, you know,
almost
some of these kids is getting it.
that
Yeah.
almost seems like a distraction, because whilst people are up in arms about that, they're lowering the age of consent.
And
Yeah.
they
You gotta watch these shifty fuckers.
and on
Yeah.
top of that,
I nearly said the C word.
they they lowering the age of consent, and they also redefine they allowing kids to pick a gender, and the school don't have to
Oh,
like when Ryder put that on her page. That messed me up. Like, what you
mhm,
mean? You can
mhm.
have a kid change their gender and not tell the parent? Like, I
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't
some of
how
these
understand why
schools
these
is doing
people
that
fucked
even
is
shit too.
that?
like. I
But
don't
see, some of
understand.
those schools is doing it.
But this is what I'm saying. When when are we gonna get to the point where we pissed off and realize why are they even making laws and rules for our kids when they are kids? We are the ones responsible for them. When are we gonna take that responsibility back and stop giving more and more responsibility? Fuck a bill. I don't care
But
what
you
you write
get,
in law. You got me
but
fucked up.
you've got these mentally, and I swear, mentally ill parents who are using their kids for fucking clout, allowing this shit, going, yes, diversity is our strength. Um, we want to be, we want to be inclusive of, all the
Fuck shit.
all the yeah, fucking hell.
Just say it.
For lack of better words, yes, fuck shit. Um, what it's insanity. I almost feel stabby, like when I hear parents saying, at the age of 6, their kid is deciding to be, a different gender, and that they're allowing it.
Let my son do that shit. I'm gonna slap his ass back straight. I ain't playing with bro. You you what your daddy tell you is until you get out of my house. No, I ain't playing none of that. I'm old school. I'm old school. My son get taps on the butt all the time because his head more harder than mine. I had a hard ass head when I was growing up. I'm not letting
Mhm.
nobody control shit. Not on me. Um, and Ryder, you right, bro. Is what I was just talking about. There's one group who create all these laws and rules, and we are naive to the power that we have, the influence that we have. Um, and until we wake up, they go keep doing fuck shit like the people who writing these laws. Like, think about it. What motive do you have to lower the age of consent? What motive do you have to determine, to let kids determine what fucking
You
gender
want to
they
fuck
are.
kids. That's the only thing I can come up with.
And who
'Cause you're
doing
a
it? It's these
dirty,
people in
perverted
power.
fuck.
It's the people in power. Like I said, we keep giving them ways to take our power away because we feel we need them when we don't.
I don't need nothing but a fucking weed cigar and that's it. I don't need nothing.
I don't
Oh,
even
Yeah,
need
you
that,
do.
bro.
What about snacks,
Fuck
motherfucker?
snacks. Fuck snacks. There's a lifetime fuck of snacks everywhere. It's called running in your house taking them shits. Nigga, what's this? You don't need these Debbie kites. Don't get them shit.
Hey, you know what? I am so lucky I wasn't around Ryder like 5-10 years ago. I'd probably be on some we'd have created a whole new party. Fuck around with Ryder. I'm ready to do it now. I just can't see. I need some eyes, bro. Y'all just gonna have to leave me. I can't see that
We'll
well,
be your
but
eyes.
I still got a lot of
You're
fit
gonna
in
see
me.
me clear. You're gonna see me clear when I just come and punch you in your stomach. Like, what you say about me in the fucking chat, nigga?
I'll let
Open your eyes
you
and see that,
around. But I may run you into a bush somewhere.
Hey, I
nigga.
ran
I
myself
expect you
into
to do
wall.
that shit.
Just because it's funny.
I expect you to do some shit like that. I just want to punch nigga in the stomach, like, wake your ass up, nigga. It's the person you talking shit to, nigga. Yeah.
You know what? Hold on, bro. I got something for you, Nate. Hold on, brother.
But I cannot see. I'm legally blind. That's my story. I'm sticking to.
Care about you sticking to your damn story, nigga. When I come through, nigga, it's over. I'm shaking the room, son.
But that's the this is like what Ryder's saying. That's facts.
It's fact.
We don't all have to get along. There's some people that I wouldn't piss on if they were on fire, and I'm okay with that. That's why it's really important that we find our people and we stick with our people and, fuck the rest. Trying to hold my tongue.
Yeah.
No, I feel you, Ryder. You ain't disrespectful. I mean, it is what it is. You know, I mean,
You say what you gotta say. Fuck out of here. You see what I do. You see what the
Who
fuck
are
I
you
do on my
worried
channel.
about
I don't give a
offending?
fuck. You see, look, they couldn't get
he
me for
just
no
being
real fucking
respectful.
speech. Fuck
No,
that. You couldn't get me for speech, but you got me for music. That's what I'm saying. You can't get me for no quote unquote speech, nigga, because there's people who saying worse things to me, but I'm just sitting there telling it like it is, nigga, because in all reality, everybody gotta wake the fuck up. Ain't no time to be sitting here and worry about dumb shit. But worry about these kids. Shit. Snack.
Hey, white people, who got timed out? Somebody got timed out?
What?
Who the hell?
I don't think nobody got
Oh
timed
no,
out. Bro.
I'm gonna jump down if there's any fuckery.
No, I don't think, because the only people in the chat that got sticks, I don't know, unless somebody ghost watching with a stick.
That's possible too.
I don't
But
see
you ain't
who.
give that many wrenches out. You didn't give that many wrenches out. You only besides.
Oh no, there's a shit ton of wrenches out there.
Liz timed out Uncle. What? What are you doing, Liz? She's maybe
She probably did it by
Liz.
mistake.
Liz is probably pocket modding.
Yeah, she probably did that because she didn't even check in the chat. Yeah, my bad, Uncle L. She probably did that by mistake, bro.
And Scotland.
Yeah, she probably did that by mistake. Liz don't usually time people out. And I know I did that on Nate's channel a couple times, putting my phone in my pocket, and then I heard somebody say the word time somebody out. I'm like, I didn't time, and I looked like, yeah. But no,
y'all
Liz
stop timing people out with y'all wrenches, man. I ain't give y'all wrenches for y'all timing people out purposely, man. See what I'm talking about?
Can you
I'll jump down and see what I can.
Yeah,
see what's happening.
you got that super mod stick, so you can.
I do.
That's my super mod.
Oh, so you a super mod?
That's
I'm
my
gonna time your ass out.
That's my
motherfucker.
Yeah, she got my back. That's
I'm
my
his right hand
supermod.
man.
Yeah, that's
I'm
my
gonna time your
supermod.
ass out now. I'm timing niggas out when I get my son back.
Hey, Nate, go fuck your panda.
Yeah.
Fuck your koala bear, bitch.
Hey,
All right.
Fuck
Ryder
your
said
egg
stop the
omelet.
cat.
Look at fuck
Hey,
your egg omelet.
hey,
All
hey,
right. I
Ryder.
love y'all. I'll be down in the chat.
I
Mwah.
appreciate you, appreciate you sharing
Respect.
your story too. I really do. Every
You're
time you
so
do,
welcome.
every time you share with me, I get a better understanding of who you are, not only who you are, but how wonderful, and it just makes me appreciate you even more. So I appreciate you sharing that, especially on my platform because you didn't have to.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, no, I do. I think, hey, how are we all going to be better humans if we don't share?
Yeah.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
tired of sharing. Nobody
Uh,
shares with me.
I share
apologies
with you all
again,
the time,
Scott.
dickhead.
And
You liar. You fucking liar. Where's the snacks at then if you sharing? See, this is what I'm talking about. Y'all
Oh
gotta stop
no.
lying. Stop lying. Y'all don't come to my chats with nothing. No steak sandwich, no nothing. Y'all just want to come over here and steal my good old word today and don't give me no, not a sandwich, a Cheeto, nothing.
I'm sick of your nonsense.
oh yeah,
I'm
you know
I'm
I am.
I'm getting
Hey,
down now.
all right.
Love y'all.
Ryder said we on demon time.
Ryder
Mm-hmm.
better shut up, man, and start fucking bringing his ass up on panels before I show him demon time. I told him I'm coming down there. I know where he at, man. I got a cousin down there, man.
Hey, Uncle L Scott though, apologies, bro. I'm pretty sure Liz didn't do that intentionally. And if she did, she'll tell me about it, but I doubt it because she didn't even put none in the back chat or put none in the chat. So I'm pretty
Probably
sure
in
she
sleep.
didn't do that on purpose, huh?
Probably fucking sleeping with the phone in her hand. You never know.
Yeah, it's usually
Like
Liz.
leaning on her phone because I remember it being in the last chat. I didn't even know you was live again. Ryder, you always got something to say in the game. Ain't you supposed to be feeding your dog, making sure he ain't eating up on Timberland boots? You act like you gonna win this battle with me, nigga. I know how to troll people without trolling people. I bastard that.
So
I'm
is
at
it?
work, so
I
he got
can't
a
see
whole.
the chat. So did something? What got timed out? Can I
I
undo
don't
it
know.
from? Let me see because I didn't even. Oh, Yvonne. I'm probably go pick with her later.
Damn, man. I don't even want to fucking man. I don't feel like going back to the other side of my damn job. Man, the refrigerator in here don't work. I want to freeze my damn juice and can't even do that shit. Oh no, never mind. I'm about to be ghetto. Put that shit right on the cold ass windowsill. There we go.
Yeah,
I'm a nigga. Damn, man. I really ain't gonna be able to be on my main page till probably Saturday night because that's when I got the strike.
a Saturday night. Yeah, I didn't even see none of that in the I didn't. I can't see it from StreamYard, I guess, but I seen it on the YouTube. Yeah, she probably sleep and did that because I mean, what they said wasn't even bad. So I know she didn't do it on purpose.
That's all right. If she live anytime during the day, I'm a cartwheel over in the chat. And I don't even like cartwheel.
Go out to the church cartwheel. Yeah, but that. So let me ask you, bro, because I know you choose violence. What do revenge look like? Like, do you gotta uh, like? Is it a level of it?
Yeah. I, some people say it would. I don't have no levels. Revenge is just revenge. If I have to get it on you, I'm just getting it on you. And
Yeah,
I'm going all out. So I don't think there could be levels because you could I seen some people do it. It's like you have the petty revenge, and then you got the real revenge that's supposed to happen. I don't do all that shit. Once I gotta get revenge on you, I'm coming at you full force. And
yeah,
you better hope to God you wearing a shitty pamper or something else to help you because I don't know what to tell you.
yeah.
So
Because like
I'm
in
not
a,
gonna hold up.
An incident like this, jail wouldn't be good enough. Nah, we ain't doing no jail, bro. You ain't going to jail for um, that's a waste of time. It's a waste of taxpayers' money. These people can't be fixed. You touch a kid, you need to get out of there.
You're supposed to
And
die, period.
and
Because it
like
wasn't happening back in the day. They wasn't allowing that, even in that good old golden time of human civilization. There was just some things that man upstairs was not tolerating. If it didn't fucking happen right then and there, it was going to happen at some point. And a lot of them people do end up suffering. I heard of a situation where a nigga was raping his fucking, I think that was supposed to be his wife's daughter. Now the motherfucker impotent. Good for your ass, nigga, because that should tell your ass, son. Like, the fuck are you doing, nigga? You been raising this child since well, and then nah, come on, son. You deserve every little bit of whatever God's wrath you get, nigga.
streets, bro. That's I feel like you come through, you contribute in the chat. I appreciate you, bro. That's just a small token. I appreciate you more coming through and supporting. Always, to me, that's the least I can do. Somebody come on to the page and support. My channel ain't big at all, but the people who come through and support and active in the chat, I think that's the least I can do is give you a wrench. You're part of the channel, and my channel different. It's similar to Nate's, but it's different because any topic I'm talking about, everybody is welcome up to speak on it. Like I said, it's similar to Nate's, but I don't do the music, so that's the difference. But yeah, that's what this channel is for. It's for us to have discussions, and hopefully we can find solutions and share information. Because somebody might have a solution to some of the problems that affect us, and we'll never get them if I'm just sitting up here talking, and running the show. Like I'm a different type of content creator. I don't even feel like I'm a content creator. I'm just coming on here talking to y'all. So,
Nigga, you
yeah,
still bringing content regardless.
yeah, I'm bringing conversations.
Shit! I fucked my ankle up. Oh, help! Somebody call my mom in there. Tell my book.
Yeah, so it's just you you come in here, you active in the chat, you become part of the channel. You giving good insight because I didn't know the legal consent over there was 16, and he said even throughout Europe, in some places, like in Germany, at one point it was 14. Who's to say that went up or down?
It probably went down because some of these motherfuckers overseas too be into that fucking. Let me shut up. I forgot. I can't get you clipped down today.
No, like I said, it's a small channel, so it is what it is. I'm starting to. At some point, like I said, I'm gonna start another channel and I want to see how quick I can get clapped by just speaking the truth. I want to see how they'll probably kick me off the internet, because a lot of this shit, like I said, is agendas, man, and it's distractions, and we're seeing why. Is because they're trying to gain control of our youth. And if we don't see that, that's how you control the future. You control the people who will be in charge of the future. So how do you do that? You influence the people who will be in charge. And that's our kids. So if we don't make a stand at some point, the agenda is going to be fulfilled. But international, I put 22 in the building. What ups? Uh-oh.
This motherfucker, this fucking shadow hugger, tree hugging ass nigga always coming out of nowhere. Have some respect for the host before you start talking to everybody else, you fucking beef tallow head. Shit. Get on my damn nerve, man.
You gonna be my co-host on there. We're gonna see how quick we can get that channel shut down. We just gonna be unruly.
Oh, you want me to shut it down? I'm gonna tell some truth. See, I've been trying to keep that. They're gonna definitely clip my ass. They're gonna be like, nigga, we tired of your ass. You already doing too much on your main channel. You coming on other people's shit, saying some shit. Come in, my nigga. Let me holler at you real quick. You don't need to share it no more.
They go Andrew Tate you. They go kick you off the internet.
Yeah, as usual. Don't matter. This is
Have a lamb chop,
old
bro.
head. Old head, you built like a lamb chop. Fuck
Oh
out of
man,
here. Don't get
this
your ass roasted. You already got roasted from 2 pages last night. I think you should shut up.
look. All right, let me give a quick disclaimer for anyone watching live or watching this on the playback. We have entered comedy hour.
Ain't a comedy hour. This motherfucker coming out the damn cooler, fish fry face ass nigga just won't stop coming in people's chat, not saying nothing to people. Bitch ass nigga.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. I got a little fight back, bro. Hold on. There you go, 22. You can come get your get back, bro. But yeah, man. I had to. Me and my wife was talking. My wife be putting me up on because, like I said, she like my news. I don't really watch the news because there's too many stories like this. Like I was trying to figure out because of the areas. I'm familiar with the area she got abducted from, in the area they found this girl in. So I was interested to see, the race, and I couldn't find a picture. But when I was looking up the story, I found like 15 other stories today where they found missing people, some of them alive and some of them dead. But it was 15, I counted them. It was literally 15 other stories where they found missing children who went missing. Some of them was dead, some of them was alive. And that was just today. So I can only imagine, this happened every day. It's not something uncommon where our kids are getting snatched up and sex trafficking um, and sexually abused. I'm happy they found her alive, but you just got to think of the longevity. Like, what is her mental state gonna be? 14, man.
Not even just the mental state of her. You got to think about the child that's coming into the world as well too.
Yeah,
Because
and
now,
that's what I'm saying.
if she goes crazy, or just like if she just loses all warp of reality, now that child is in danger. If she don't have no real solid help, that's now the child is in danger.
Yep. And then not knowing, because we don't even know the full story. They haven't said if she was impregnated by the people who captured her, or if she was in a sex ring, and so there's no telling. Like it's just all the whole story messed up. The whole
Yeah.
story messed up.
Well, see, this the problem when you got society trying to fucking tell you, but then again, some people actually conforming to that. This is what happens with society is telling you, oh, these people can be helped. No, killers can be helped only because if a killer did something really gets that, you know what, I fucked up. A killer could change their life.
Yeah.
A tiger could try to say you can't strike. Nah, you can't fucking listen. You cannot sit here and expect somebody to go with any type of conformity and think that it's supposed to be accepted. No, that shit is not accepted. If that's the case, that would mean all adults that are willing to even take that route. That would mean a lot of these adults would be taking that route. And I highly doubt, that anybody with real moral sense is going to do that. Because again, what can a youngin' do for me if they can't even buy liquor or alcohol? What can a youngin' do for me if they can't even go half of the places I'm able to go right now?
Ryder, salute. Appreciate you, sis, for stopping through. Appreciate
Rage.
you. Yeah, I was just talking about the story in Michigan. A 14-year-old girl went missing for a year, and you want to hear a crazy part about this story, bro? Did you know the U.S. Marshals have a task force to find missing children?
They've been had a task force for that one, but they don't utilize them niggas. See, that's something that they don't want to tell nobody neither. Chad, they've been had a force of people that's looking for kids like that. Because how you think they get some of these damn kids who was caught? A prime example for the ones who was able to escape the child sex trafficking and shit like that. Who the fuck you think was rescuing them? And then you gotta
bro.
look
But
at it too. It's not just it's a collective effort, bro. Because think about it.
yeah,
You gotta once you done got that, now you gotta deal with regular law enforcement as far as the SVUs and everybody. Because guess what? Some of them people have been raped and traumatized, regardless of how you feel. So that's a little
and
task force right there. You're gonna have some of those, and then you're gonna have international people that are just we not tolerating this shit. We gonna take a stop to this.
now check this out, bro. So the girl was missing for a whole year, right? So after a year passed, the local law enforcement gave the case over to Michigan State Police. Within hours, they gave it over to the U.S. Marshals. They found the girl in 12 hours after receiving the information. So if y'all would have got this information a lot sooner, and the guy said that, but I'm like you said, how are all y'all connected within law enforcement and not utilizing these resources to find these missing kids?
Because if it's not a high, see, and with some of them, if it's not something that they feel could be high profile and can help benefit them, I'm sorry, that's how some of these people react, bro. If it ain't something that they feel need to be really targeted, all right, you know what? We'll touch this one on another day. Let's see what's really, because to them it's like what's really important. And of course, keeping an agenda going, that's the most important thing for a lot of them, keeping an agenda going. So what better way to do that? We only going to target certain cases and situations that we know is not that just going to make headlines, but we know for a fact is going to keep the people distracted.
Hey, Rich, my sister, one of my sisters is she graduated from culinary art school in Pittsburgh. It's like the top 2 or 3 in the United States, but my sister is a chef, so that's dope. That can be a lucrative business, and you can do so much with it. You can start your own catering company. You can teach. So yeah, that's a lucrative business. So I'm
Anything could be lucrative, bro. You gotta have the know-how for it, and you just gotta have the time and determination.
we know Rich got it. We know Rich got it. So yeah, we got your back. Go ahead and study. We here. I'm gonna be talking for a minute. But yeah, it just touched me a different way. This whole story, because yesterday I don't know if you caught that live. I was talking to Leticia, and she stated that I was talking about forgiveness, and she said everything can't be forgiven. Sometimes you need retribution. And then when I seen this story,
And
it
put
to
it
me
into
it just
life.
related. Yeah, put it in perspective. Like, because I got a daughter, and it's nothing you can say to make me feel no form of punishment anyone else can give that'll make me feel okay about what happened. You know, especially like these people, bro. They be getting slaps on the wrist, put in programs, put on registries. They need to be taken out back and put down like the
Yeah,
rabid animals they are, flat and simple, and be done with it, and don't have to worry. Now you have one less worry because any opportunity they go do it again. It's proven.
but you know why they ain't gonna do it? Because being how society has changed well over the course of centuries, from back in the good old Bible days, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, back in the day, and I can even say some of this shit, even though we knew it was a factor back in the day. Don't get it twisted. This world has always been somewhat foul and corrupt, but don't think it wasn't people that was standing and just standing for the shit. No. Hence why you had a lot of people. Hence why you had a lot of crosses. Whether they was upside down in the sand or not, nigga, he did this, so he got to go. Like even when it came down to stealing, oh, you stole this, nigga, you might have to go. Like,
But
certain countries, they'll chop your fucking hand over if you steal something, even if you're trying to feed your family. That's just how it was. But since it's quote unquote so barbaric now, we gotta have more leniency for life. Okay. But guess what? That don't mean every life deserves to be spared. If you're a rapist, a hebephile, or even a pedophile, you have to go. Because there's no recalibrating your brain for you to think straight now. And then even still, you're gonna have a nasty taste on your fucking background because you just did something along the lines that shouldn't have been done.
I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna tell you this too, and I shared on my community wall tomorrow. Is a scripture in the Bible that kind of approves this the way they thinking, because it states that if a man defiles a child, a female, he has to pay the father 9 shillings and marry the child. That scripture in the Bible. I just paraphrased it, but I put the verse in my community wall. So even in the Bible, it kind of alludes to what's happening today. If you got money, you can make things okay. And
Yeah, but that's
I found that disturbing. Um, when I read that, when I was shown that in the Bible, that it made me really, really pay attention to it, like what I'm reading, because, like I said, a lot of times we read stuff, and because we have emotional connections to it, we overlook things like that. But that's in the Bible, bro.
Well, but then guess what? That part in there, for all we know, even if we don't know if that was original text or not, depending
Exactly.
on what version you read, depending on what you reading, and even if it was in there, guess what? You think people still wasn't getting killed back in the day for thieving, robbery? You don't think niggas still wasn't getting killed back in the day for certain sins? You did anything fucking filing the child, nigga. If you didn't have money, guess what? You was gone, nigga. Cause you knew what the fuck you was doing. And I see that little shit in the chat. Talking, I need a man who can cook. There's plenty of men in here that cook. Except old head, he just look cooked. It's the difference.
You know what? He chilling off that Pansit, bro. Man, you ever had Pansit? Oh my god. I'm telling you, I love foreign food. Like, just okay, yeah, I ain't gonna talk about food right now because I'm gonna end up cooking something. But
nigga say you gonna make a pork chop sandwich.
I ain't messing with no pork, bro. I'm not messing with the pork. Only thing I eat pork every now and then, I indulge in bacon, but I ain't fucking with pork.
Poke, bacon, and taters, nigga. Don't try to play. Poke, bacon, and tater. So y'all need to be doing in the morning. Home fries and bacon. Nah, but it is fat, but then we got, like I said, you said you seen that in a text in the Bible. Yeah. We gotta hope that that's the actual original text, because for all we know, it could have been something different.
But see, this is the thing about that too, and this is what people like. That's why I talk about even when I talk about the book. You have to be informed on how it was created, because the Bible in English was held before it was translated into English. It was held by the Catholic Church for over 1,000 years. And before then, like, an average person didn't have access to it. You know, but after the Catholic Church had it for 1,000 years, they mass produced it and gave it to everybody. So just understanding that, you can understand that why when they gave it to us, it was books missing. Because this is when we talk about the missing books in the Bible. This is when it occurred. Is once the Catholic Church had all the scrolls, they determined what is going to be put in a book. Because before then, it wasn't even a book. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say it's important to research and understand things, because you can better understand how to utilize it. Like I tell people, I still read the Bible. I still use the Bible because it's good information in there. But you have to ask for understanding.
I understand one thing. And one thing, not violence, not violence. I understand joking too, but I'm saying I don't understand violence. One thing I've always understood, and maybe it's probably best I wasn't living back in that time. The one thing I should understand is that no grown-up at no time should be having any feelings of kids or teens of no kind, period. So, sorry, I'm just morally bound to say that. Nigga, you might have died back in the day. Oh, we ain't got guns, but yo, can I borrow this knife real quick? Can you borrow this sword real quick? I'll be back. Where you going? We want to cut this nigga balls off. He touching kids. fuck out of here. You gotta go.
Especially right. I mean, that's how I feel. But I say this too. With what you just said, Ryder. Um, when you look through history and you see what cultures were advertising this, or it was common, it was Greek. It was Greek culture, and
Yeah, they into that nasty shit. They
yeah,
into dealing with kids and all that shit. We've been knew about that shit.
it
That's
was,
something that we've been them put up in there, man. Like nasty
that
motherfuckers.
it was really prevalent in Greek culture, and then you understand that they had their hands on the Bible too. Because before the Bible was translated into Grammatic or Old English, it was translated into Greek. The Greeks had a hand in translating it from Hebrew into Greek, from Greek into Old English, into what we got now. So anytime somebody touched something, they put their own sugar and spice into it.
Oh,
So
or you got a mix of this and a mix of that
mix of that. And that's what
with the
happened.
actual truth. And see, that's the sad part. But then for those who got the actual Bible that has some of those missing, like I said, my neighbor got the fucking book. And 13 of those books that was missing is in that same book that she got.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh shit. I said, this is what I was looking for. I said, yo, I wonder if the public library at the main branch in my area, not in my area, but out here in Brooklyn, period, has that same Bible, because that same Bible, and see, that shit is laminated. So even if somebody thought about taking that big ass book, yeah, all right, that shit will be fucking noticed. Like, but that one had all of those books that was missing, the Book of Creations and all that other. That's why I said the history of not Rebecca, the history of. I just said that name the other day too. I just told you that shit on behind the scenes. I said, this shit is all in here.
Bro, you talk about Lilith?
No, not that one.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
I said it was the story of they said the history of Rebecca or the history of somebody. It was somebody that Ryder said that day too. It wasn't Lilith, it was somebody else. But I was like, oh shit, I got the whole history shit in here. I said, all right, I might need this one day. Might fuck around and get robbed and not get out of work today. Let me take this real quick. Let me make some real copies and hold this down real quick. I might need this. Nah, because I'll be like this. So you saying this book didn't exist? What does this book say? I think it got some of the books that was missing out of Enoch too in that same Bible. You know what I'm saying? It's mad different fucking books that was missing out of the main chapters in that shit. You add all that shit up. That's why I said you add all that shit up. It could be more than 70 something books. For all we know, it could be 100 books. Like, we don't know, because everybody done had a piece of our history.
Mm-hmm. And even like reading the book of Enoch, that shit blew my mind, bro. The book of Enoch, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, people just roll with what's given to them instead of going out and seeking the information. And that's what we got to do. We got to educate ourselves and stop depending on people to give us the proper information and go get it ourselves. It's there. We in that information age now, where things is literally at the tip of our finger, and we still choose not to utilize the technology in a proper way, but we use it to hurt one another. Bro, we're so backwards, man.
But see, again, I could believe in that part that was stated, that these are just the curses upon curses and the generational curses because of us not following the man upstairs and following his rules and regulations. Yeah. Like, there's more than a few things too. Just like I told somebody, I didn't believe that Adam and Eve was the first ones here, but yet and still, I don't want to fucking bark up that tree with some people. Like I said, I just overall believe. I said, wait a minute, you gonna tell me we came from these people? How we know we ain't just one set of people that came from these group of people? I said this is where things kind of got confusing, but I said I can't confuse and I can't go by my own precept upon precept. Can't do that. So that's where I'm always be lost at, because I'm like, okay, if we all came from just this side, Why was these other people spoken about though in these books? Why was these other people spoken about before Adam and Eve was even spoken about in the Bible then? Try this again.
I mean,
It's where that book of creations come into play.
yeah, but it's in the King James version too. People just don't read it because it's two creation stories. First, it say God created man and woman in his likeness and image, and told them to go out and be fruitful. And
Yep.
then you get to the creation story of Adam in the
Adam.
garden. You
Yep.
know, those are two creation stories. So it'll tell you why, when Cain left, why he was afraid. You know, he said the people go be after me. What people? If Adam and Eve was the only people and they had kids, the only people should be there is the kids. But when you read it, it's right there. It's two separate creation stories.
Yeah. You just gotta go, but see, most people are gonna go off of just that they came from F. Or you could have came from the people before Adam and Eve. You never know. That's why I say it's just a lot of things that people refuse to really. And it's not so much as some people refuse to. Some people just really lost in the source, and some people really just don't give a fuck. I'm gonna be honest with you. Some people just don't give a fuck. But that's been like that throughout time anyway. You're gonna always have those who are interested, those who really want to know truth, those who really want to follow something good. And you're gonna have those that just don't give a fuck. They just here to be here, and when it's time to go, it's time to go.
And Ryder, they spoke about Baal, and Baal is a Mesopotamian god. They spoke about a whole bunch of different gods in the Bible. But the interesting fact, like when I used to debate people, I used to always take them to the Greek because in
Yeah.
Greek, the Bible is Helios Bilios, that means little son book. And
Yeah.
Izeus, the name for Jesus in Greek, the meaning of that word is son of Zeus, not son of God. But God was Zeus, so it makes sense why they said Jesus was son of Zeus, which is son of God. But that's why I say the Greeks, when they put their hands on it, they
messed it up a little
incorporated
bit.
themselves. Yeah, they incorporated they put themselves into the history of the book. That's what everybody did. You got to think about that. Whoever wins the war writes the history.
And see, that's the sad part. And then the whole gist of it is that, man, that part right there will remain in damn near every Bible or every whatever, that people are going to be lost because of lack of knowledge. At least the main
Yep.
people are going to be lost because of lack of knowledge. But again, that's part of those quote unquote generational curses that was to happen because we didn't do what we were supposed to be doing. Even when they told us, I believe somewhat in that part, not mixing outside of certain things, but then again, for all we know, that could be false. I don't know. That's the problem about it. Like, for those who, like I said, I was born and somewhat raised in the church. If you want to say that, I wasn't in there actively, but when I was in there, mostly half of the stuff I read was stuff that stuck in my mind. I'm like, wait a minute. Telling us not to create with certain people outside of the boundaries because of this situation. But then again, I don't fully know if that, man, how we know if that's really what it meant. Like,
Man, it's when you get to talking about it, it's deep, because even if you get the Bible in Old Hebrew, do you know the Hebrew that's spoken today is it had to be deciphered, meaning they really don't know. Like the Old Hebrew is a dead language. They had to recreate it and use other languages to be able to speak it today or even read it. So that's not the Hebrew spoken today is not the Hebrew that was spoken back when the biblical text was written. Is a decipher, and if you understand what decipher is we're guessing what this says. They can't say 100% it says this or said that.
yeah. Well, we know we going off of just what was we going off of certain things that was able to be interpreted. And then again, I believe some of that knowledge just ain't meant to be interpreted unless it's amongst the quote unquote 144,000 that they say is supposed to go into the next millennium, but we'll see. Because I believe that number is bigger than that to a degree. But I could be wrong about that too. That's why I said when it comes to certain aspects of just reading the Bible, yeah, that's where you get a little confused. But other than that, most of this shit is just a guideline. And not just that, the Torah and another book too is just, they're basically just guidelines of our history, but also guidelines of what we should have been following. But because we wasn't listening to certain shit, we gotta. Basically, in my opinion, I think God is just. I'm put y'all on punishment for a day. His one day probably like we just like, damn, when is this curse over? We done been here 7 days already. Is it over yet? Nah, you still got a day left. A day? Like, come on, like that's how I feel right now because some people are lost in the source, and some people are actually trying to find who they are. Like. That's where the sad part comes into because now you think you know who you are, you think you got a background of who you are, but you might not.
You know what? I think of it like this too. I don't think God punishes. I don't think God intervenes with us at all. I think God gave us everything that we need to create what we need to, and I think that's a way of control that they use because it don't make sense. None. I mean, the creator of heavens and earth, why do they need to be jealous? They gave that God too many human characteristics, jealous and envy. It don't make sense.
I don't believe in jealousy and envy, but I do believe in punishment. And think about it. You're being punished for something that you know for a fact. I specifically gave you a task to do this, and that was it. I ain't actually do nothing else outside of that. You can't even do that.
But
so when you don't obey the guidelines, I might have to punish you.
But think about this too. If God is all knowing, he knew he was gonna fuck up. So why punish us for something that he knew he was gonna do?
Because he wanted to see if you was really gonna be truthful about it. See, prime example that did you eat that apple? Yeah, she opened up. He was getting ready to just say, yes, I had part of that, but look, she wasn't gonna say shit. See, we was ready to fucking take the fucking fall, period, to the degree. We ready to take the fall for this woman, and guess what? She wasn't gonna open her mouth at first. So, like I said, that was just the test there. Let me see if you're gonna really. I know what you're doing. Let me just see if you actually want to go through what the fuck I see already. And 9 out of 10, you might just do it. But then again, don't think you ain't gonna get punished. Like it don't have to be a physical punishment. It's a spiritual punishment if you want to be technical, bro. Because let's be honest, even with somebody that just killed somebody, right? If they decide to have that conscience over something, that's gonna fuck with them forever. That they took somebody's life, that's a punishment right there. Because you don't know how they gonna react to that. They might fuck around and off themselves. Like, I can't keep seeing this person's face. I can't keep imagining this. I gotta go. That's a punishment right there. Hey, you ain't gonna listen to the rules and regulations. I'm gonna punish you. I can't physically punish you, but I'm gonna punish you.
And Ryder, there is more than one God. That's why you got Elohim, the creator God. And if you look through the Bible, you'll get different aspects of God. You'll get different names, and it'll describe different aspects. Like Yahweh is the God from Egypt. Yahweh is the God that was speaking to Moses in Egypt. But the Elohim is the one who created everything. Elohim is masculine and feminine. That's why I say, let us make man and woman in our likeness and in our image, meaning more than one. And people try to associate that to the Holy Spirit, and it's not. Because Elohim literally is described as masculine and feminine energy. And then you got El Shaddai, which was the destroyer. So all those different names are showing you different aspects of God. So like think of nature. You know, God is within everything in nature, but you have different aspects. You can say water, you can say wind, you can say earth. Those are all different aspects of God. Think about the humans. We all different races and phenotypes and all that. We are all different expressions of God, of the Creator. So
guess what we fucked up at? We fucked up because we still don't know knowledge of ourselves. Everybody else know who the fuck they are, even in they damn quote unquote Bible terms. The Moabs know who the hell they are. The The Ham people know who they are. That's why they treat us funny. That's why I told somebody we can have the same color, but that don't mean we're the same race of people.
No, we're not. We're not. I mean, that's proven. I mean, like the African and Africa is not like us at all. We different people.
Don't get it twisted. We do have remnants of quote unquote the Hebrews being in Africa at that time frame when they was quote unquote running. But then again, they was hidden to a degree because guess what? It wasn't meant for those people. Like you said, it wasn't meant for some of those people to have to go through whatever was about to happen anyway. And they
Right.
found refuge, which was supposed to be given anyway. They found refuge. But then again, that don't get it twisted. Like I told somebody, I said we might share that continent, but not everybody that share that same color is the same people. Hence why they call the African people in that book Ham, the Hamites. That's what I'm saying. If you want to go by Bible terms, nigga, we don't even know who the fuck we are. We just know we part of one of them 12 tribes or quote unquote 13, nigga, because like I said, one of the tribes that they said, one of them got married and took his wife's son or wife's daughter as their own. So therefore, we have 13 tribes that they try not to speak about. Even though they try to go with 12, it's 13 technically.
And then I tell people like this: my people are older than the Bible, so yeah, my people like my lineage, what I know, is older than the Bible. We got stories we got creation stories too within our native storytelling, and it's older than the Bible. It's been proven. It's Mesopotamia is older than the Bible. So when you talk about the Emerald Tablet and the story of Gilgamesh is older than any biblical story. So I mean, all those things are perceptions of people. I say it like this: I don't just like they were influenced to write the word of God. If we all seek our creator, we get the same information they did. We just don't believe in ourselves because we've been taught not to. We've been taught that we're not connected to the divine. So we don't seek that. And when you do and you find it, you'll stop believing and know. Like I don't believe in God. I know God. I have experienced the glory, the grace of God. My creator is not a jealous one. My creator is not an envious one. My creator didn't create me to punish me. My creator is nothing but love.
That part right there.
And that's my experience with the Elohim, with God. So I don't need a story or book or anybody to connect me to the creator. I can do it myself, just like they did. We all have that power. We just we ignorant to it because we've been told that we don't. And that's just a way to keep us distracted and keep us focused on these fleshly things instead of connecting with our inner, because the kingdom of God is within man. So where are you going outside yourself looking for God for? You need to go inside. They tell you right there in the book. Jesus Christ told us that. You know, the kingdom of God is within man. Is within your midst, meaning you can reach it. But we go to the pimps and try to get them to connect us with the creator. It's our responsibility.
Nigga, y'all go to the pimps. I don't go to nobody no more, son. Say that shit. Say that shit. Don't say y'all go to the pimps, nigga. I ain't been to a pimp since I was 12. Boosie age, nigga.
and that's no knock, because it is pastors out there who preaching the word and trying to connect people. But even then, you know, the Bible tells you it's gonna be false prophets. So there's always gonna be people here using the word to try to manipulate people. Always gonna be that. That's how they used it to manipulate slaves to be obedient, bro. They used the book. So that's how powerful that book is, bro. It can convince people that they being punished and it's God's doing, not man. God, look, that's why I say, man, this stuff, can't nobody blame God for nothing that's happening here on earth. We doing this shit to one another. That ain't got nothing to do with God. This is all us. And until people stop blaming unseen forces for things that we're doing, it's going to continue to happen. You know, people see stuff happen and will say, why did God let this happen? No, why did you let it happen? God gave us everything that we need. We just got to choose. We have to bring the divine here through our actions. If you want Jesus to come back, walk in Jesus, walk the path Jesus did. Instead of waiting for the sky to open up and somebody to climb down and help you, be more like Christ. Yeah, they go. I'm gonna have to start my backup channel, bro, so I can talk my shit. Ryder, you won't have to read another book. I'll tell you everything you need to know. I just can't do it now. I'm gonna start another channel.
Man, fuck. I knew it. There's always something. About to choose violence for Friday.
It's Friday. Oh, it's 4 in the morning, man. Let me take my butt to bed.
About to say,
Oh,
nigga, don't pass your curfew. You know you're getting cursed out right now, nigga.
oh, sis, Leticia. Hey, Leticia, you I spoke about you like 3 times on this video. Appreciate you, sis. You gave me the idea. I seen this story, and what you said resonated with me last night when we was talking about forgiveness, when you was talking about retribution. Because when I seen this story, I was thinking like that's the only thing I can have if that was to occur. I need revenge or retribution. Them going to jail won't satisfy me. So yeah, I was thinking about you when I created this title and started speaking on the subject. So I just wanted to say appreciations for because you gave me another perspective. That sometimes retribution is the only thing that will heal the soul in some instances, and I completely agree, especially after seeing this story.
Oh shoot, I should have did that. Damn it. I don't know if Ryder and I think Letitia is sub to the backup channel. I don't know if anybody else is sub to the backup channel. I might jump down real quick.
Yeah, put the link. I'm about to shut it down anyway. I'm about to. I'm sitting up here. I'm talking and I'm trying to hold my eyes open. I got to get up in like 3 hours. But
Nigga, you ain't got no eyes, nigga. Come on, Tommy. Don't lie to me. First you lied about having a job. Now you gonna lie about having eyes, Tommy. Come on, Tommy.
I got a half an eye, and I got a wife. The wife is the job.
Wait,
Yeah,
I gotta jump in the chat. Hold on, let me Riders, I need you to sub up to the backup channel because I'm going live on there at least until they let me get back on this piece of shit.
Yeah, right. I'm my homeboy. He getting me into that podcasting round to do that with there's a group of us. We were supposed to do it, and then I ended up doing this YouTube thing. But yeah, we're gonna do a podcast too. Yeah, I'm gonna do a podcast. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna wait till Nate put that in there. But I appreciate y'all coming out listening. And if you ain't checked if you came in late, just check the beginning of the video and check the story out. Quick recap: 14-year-old girl was found after missing for a year, and when she was found, she was 7 months pregnant. And in the article, they didn't. It's not in the story, but I did share the article too. In the article, it stated that her mother had found her when she ran away and was taking her from house to house, and she ended up getting kidnapped. So they looking to charge her mother too. And the crazy thing is, what I didn't know, that the U.S. Marshals have a missing kids division, and only after 12 hours of them receiving the case, they found the missing girl. So she went missing for a whole year, and it only took them 12 hours to find them. So that's just shows that they don't really, and like I don't know the race of the girl, and it don't matter because it's a kid, but that just shows they have resources to use that they don't utilize when it comes to common people. So at that point, so the whole point I was making through this video is that we need to take more power back, and stop giving power up, because these people don't care about us. They don't. It is what it is. But we gotta care about ourselves. And like Nashawn said, and many know him as facts over feelings, but he said something really profound, that until your pain becomes my pain, it'll never change. We so many times things happen, and because it don't happen to us, it don't affect us. But then when it happens to us, we look around and we want support. But when other people needed the support, no one stood up. So we got to start standing up for one another and not just wait for things to happen to us. But that's all I got. I appreciate y'all coming through. Greatly appreciate it. It's truly humbling. I just remember when I first started, I used to be doing these videos. This is how I make my content. I go live and record. And when I first started, I used to be in here by myself for like 30 minutes to an hour. And now y'all coming through the chat, I really appreciate y'all. I really do. I'm grateful and I'm humbled. And even when you listen to the videos on playback, there's still time you utilize to hear what I had to say. And I'm appreciative, so thank you. And if you are listening to this on playback, please catch a live and feel free to come through. My panel is always open. If you don't see the link, just ask. And because everyone has a perspective, to share. And the more ways we're able to look at things, the easier it is to solve the problems. But I'm the word. That's all I got. Empathizing with others. Yeah. That's something I had to learn, because growing up, trusting people can be the end of you. But as I got older, I realized that you can't be like that. You have to open your heart to people, because you keep your heart closed, you get around the right people, you'll miss the opportunity to build with people and create beautiful things because of individuals that may have been in your past that hurt you. So that's one of the lessons I had to learn, is to be more open towards people and be smart about it. I'm not telling you to be naive. You can't open up to everybody, but we can't close ourselves out to everybody either, because divided we go far. The only way we can overcome these things is together. So that's all I got for y'all. Appreciate y'all coming through. Much love. Like I said, truly humbled. And y'all know what I say, conversations like this is how we build the nation. But that's all I got. If I say anything to resonate with y'all, do me a favor. Share the video. Help me spread the word.